To start off, I'm gonna excuse myself for any bad wording due to me not being a native speaker. Before I experienced this, I have never had real drug experiences besides alcohol and maybe 1 or 2 times before with weed. Before I had this experience, I was, and still am, fighting with a pretty bad permanent dissociation, which this experience definitely didn't make any better. It was just a normal day of me and my friend relaxing at a nearby lake after school, until this guy my friend knew asked if we wanted to smoke some weed for free, and we said sure, why not? So we met this guy and he gave us like 8 grams of hash and 3 to 4 grams of which he said was super lemon haze, to be later found out as spice. So we went back to the lake and wanted to roll a blunt. Then we somehow came to the glorious idea to roll a whole pure J of the haze/spice. Looking at this now, I can't believe how dumb I was doing this with so little experience with weed. My friend though had more experience with it due to smoking it almost every week. So we unpacked this extremely sticky bud and rolled it into a joint. Then we went to a calm place with no people and lighted it up. Taking the first puffs, I felt nothing, and I coughed up a fucking storm. After like 5 to 7 puffs, my friend already got pretty high and didn't want to smoke more of it. I still didn't feel any effects, so I thought I could easily take more, but how damn wrong I was. So I finished it with like 5 more big puffs, and at the exact moment I took the last puff, it hit me like a truck. I threw away the joint and sat down next to my friend on a log that was there. A bad feeling rushed up immediately. I started being unable to really control my physical actions, and a horrifying feeling of constant deja vu went into my head, which I wouldn't even wish to my worst enemy. Let me try to describe it the best way I can. It was like everything that happened has happened to me before in my life, like I was transferred into the past, reliving my life in a loop. I felt like I knew everything that was gonna happen next, every word my friend said, every move I made, every sound that happened, such a terrible feeling of horror. I couldn't sit there long due to the feeling being so bad, so I stood up and tried to walk, but immediately stumbled. I couldn't really control any of my movements, like I was hardcore drunk, and the deja vu feeling started getting worse and worse. Every step I took, every time I fell, I knew it was gonna happen before it even did. I walked away from that log and my friend, which was pretty high as well, shouting something like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Kay mumbled that I wanted to walk because I felt so bad, and I couldn't even talk right. So I stumbled on a path, falling into bushes and on the ground with the still worsening feeling. What I didn't know there was that the worst was still about to come. I don't know how long I walked, I just couldn't take this feeling anymore. I then rolled down a hill and stopped between a fence and that hill. What happened after this was the worst experience of my life. I blacked out and was transported into this world of pure pain, hopelessness, and emptiness. There was no space, no time, no me, and nothing left of my memories or anything. I was completely detached to my body and the physical world. It was like a throbbing, punching pain in my brain that wouldn't stop and kept getting worse. I don't know if I maybe had a stroke or something in this state because the pain was so fucking bad. I felt there were only like these shadows that shifted into each other, and all this throbbing pain. There was no escape, just little random memories or faces flying into my thoughts just to be gone the next moment. It felt like forever, like it's never gonna stop, and I forever will be trapped in this hell. I thought this was some kind of punishment for making a mistake in my life, which I, of course, couldn't remember. After being in this state for so long, there appeared one thought. If I don't fight this now, I'm gonna actually die. So with all my mental strength left, I started fighting back against this unbearable pain and feeling, which made it even worse. The first connection to my body that came was my incredibly fast racing heart. It was beating so hard that it even took my breath away and felt like it was about to explode. There was also this sharp stinging pain in my heart. Then my vision started clearing up from the middle of my view more and more. I started feeling my fingers again, which I was digging in the dirt with all my power. Then when I started feeling my body again, I heard my friend shouting for me. I couldn't say anything, I just moaned in pain, and then he eventually found me. He told me afterwards that my face expression was disturbing. I looked like a frantic ghost, completely pale face and eyes wide open. I felt like I came back from the edge of death. He told me I've been gone for around 2 hours, which for me felt like 5 minutes. He told me I had to move and get out of there because there were also people walking close. I told him I couldn't stand up. I still had no real control over my body. I was still so disturbed from what had just happened. All I could think about was hurting myself. I started strangling myself with my hands. I pressed so hard on my throat, my friend had to slap me and literally pull my hands from me. When he did that, I looked at him like I just wanted to kill him. Then after a few minutes, he somehow convinced me to stand up. When I stood up, my legs were shaking like crazy, and I almost fell back down. We walked back to that spot where I immediately threw up 2 or 3 more times. My heart was still pounding and hurting so bad. Not gonna lie, I think I had a heart attack. We stayed there for a few more hours, and I was just lying on the ground babbling nonsense. He told me afterward the way I was acting and looking scared him a lot. When I was finally somehow able to walk again, we walked back to his house, where I immediately fell asleep. The next morning I woke up. I was still high as fuck, and the effects lasted for 2 more days. Besides my mental problems that I had before that, there were side effects which lasted for weeks or even months. Sudden flashbacks or panic attacks, hearing creepy voices at night when I tried to sleep, and a feeling of fear when I smelled weed or when people even talked about it. I also had very, very negative thoughts for a long time. This was the worst experience of my life, and I'm telling everyone to be careful with weed or substances you don't really know about, or just completely stay away from it. Anyways, I guess that's all I have to tell. Thank you for hearing me out. So as I was reading through that story, I kind of felt like it could have been just a very, very big high. For one, very little experience with weed, a very low tolerance. 2, he hit it a lot. He said he didn't feel it at the beginning until he finally felt it, and that's when it was like, oh shit. But it's kind of hard to say it was weed the whole way, that he had all these deja vu type things happening, the pain in his heart, not being able to stand up or even walk, and just everything. Maybe it was some sort of weed psychosis, but I don't know. By the end of it, what really made me think it could have been spice was the fact that it lasted a long time after. Even with the mental issues beforehand and the dissociation presented at the beginning of the story, I think that it's not a normal thing for that to happen from weed. Now, you know me and you know this channel, and it really, the one big pet peeve I have from commenters is when they say the story is fake, but they say it's fake because that experience could never happen. Because people need to open up their eyes and see that not everybody reacts the same way. This one's different though. I feel like, I don't know, what it is, it's either a very low tolerance to weed, and he just took too much, and it mixed bad with his previous mental issues, or it was spice, and everything that happened was caused because of spice. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I don't know if I'm gonna name this video weed or spice or weed psychosis. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out when I'm done. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and stay safe out there, guys. It's a dangerous world.